this video I am going to be talking about the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour. So this tour is a group tour at Disneyland. The tour guide that we went said that they can have a maximum of 23 people per tour. There were 19 of us on the tour that I did, but it didn't really matter because when he was talking to us he made us stand around in a group and we could all hear anyway. So in order to book the tour you need to ring up. You can't do it online, you have to ring the reservation number. You can ring up 30 days in advance and they will tell you what time slots are available. Now I know during busy times they do a morning and an afternoon time slot. When I went they were just doing the morning time slot. So you ring up, you book. They do not link your reservation to anything like the app. You don't get any sort of reference or confirmation. So they tell you to write down your booking number just in case. They'll give you a reservation number. So always write that down. They give you information. For example, the tour started at 9:30. They ask for people to be there half an hour in advance so that you have got time to get there. You need to check the menu for lunch and decide what to have to lunch. They'll book you into the tour. They'll give you a headset and they'll give you a name badge as well. So you get all your reservation details, just write them down, take them with you. On the day you go to the tour registration place, which is just to the left. If you come into the left of the Disneyland park, underneath the left hand railway arch, it's immediately to your left hand side. There is a little sort of courtyard with a little hut, I guess, booth where you go to check in. So I got there just after 9 o'clock and there was already a few couples in front of me, so I just joined the line. While I was waiting in line they gave me a menu so that I could check what I wanted for lunch, and it is like a takeaway, like a sandwich basically. So you choose your sandwich and then you choose your dessert, which is I think a choice of a macaroon, a cookie or a cupcake. So it's not really like a proper sit down meal, it's a bit more like a picnic type meal. When you get to the front they will book you in, they take your name and then direct you to sit down and wait for the rest of the tour group. Eventually your tour guide will come out and they will hand you your little, it's almost like a little Walkman MP3 player type thing, which hangs around your neck on a lanyard, a little black box. You can use your own headphones, so if you've got headphones with you, you can plug those in. It's a headphone jack, so you can use your own headphones if you don't want to use the ones that they give you. If you don't have headphones, they will give you one and it hooks over your ear and just kind of sits like an earpiece. You can change the volume up and down and then they advise you how to change channels and stuff so that you can listen if it cuts in or out. Once everybody for your tour has arrived, then your tour guide will come out, introduce themselves, and then the tour starts. Now I'm not going to go into great depths about what you do on the tour, because obviously if you want to do the tour, you want to do the tour and hear it all on the tour. You don't want to hear me telling you what you do. But the main premise behind the tour is that they take you around the parts of the park that Walt was specifically involved, personally involved with designing. They talk to you a little bit about the history of the design, about the history of the park, how the park was designed, how it all worked. If you know anything about Disney parks, they'll talk to you about the weenies and all that sort of stuff. While you're walking around the park, every now and again you'll stop, your guide will assemble you in a group and talk to you, and every now and again they'll play little audio clips as well. So for example they played Walt's dedication speech and we listened to that whilst we were stood at the flagpole in Town Square when we first started out the tour. It is, I think it was 3 hours long. It's total 4 hours, including lunch, it's about 4 hours. It's walking the whole time, so there's no, I mean, every now and again when we stopped, he kind of stopped in an area where there was a couple of benches or a fence to lean on, but there's no sort of official sit-down breaks. So you are walking the whole time. We got to do 3 attractions. Now I'm not going to go into detail around what we did, because obviously each tour is going to be different and it's going to depend on what attractions are open at the time. I believe we would have done Pirates if Pirates had been open, but it wasn't. So we did 3 attractions, all of which are relevant to the tour. So they tell you a little bit of the story about the attraction as well. The only thing I am going to talk a little bit about is the third thing we did was Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. I'd really been looking forward to doing this, and I hadn't actually done it on the day previous that I was in the park, so this was my first experience. So he took us in and he talked us around the history of the park, the history of the attraction, and some of the photographs and stuff. He took us around and talked about that, and then we got to watch Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, which is really good. I would describe it as a cross between the Hall of Presidents and the American Adventure at Epcot. It has the Lincoln Audio animatronic. If you're familiar with the song, the Civil War song, the Two Brothers song from the American Adventure, that's in it. And then you have the classic American Adventure song at the end as well. We walked all over the park. Some stuff I knew, some stuff I didn't know. I was quite pleased there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know because it was nice to learn new things. You know, he told us a story about how Lillian had her birthday party on the Mark Twain 3 days before the park opened. About little things that he did for her, little things that she did for him that you can still see around the park, which is really, really special. Then at the end of the tour, they split the tour group into two groups. It's Group A and Group B. Group B goes and has lunch, while Group A goes into the apartment, and then once Group A has been into the apartment, they go and have lunch while Group B goes in. Not every tour goes into the apartment. When the apartment was shut, they were taking groups up into one of the recently developed parts of the Club 33 series of suites. So up above Club 33 there are suites which were designed to be like family suites and personal suites for the Disney family that they never actually used because Walt died before they were finished, and they were left unfinished for decades. So when the apartment was shut, people were getting to go up into the hospitality rooms up there. You don't get to go into Club 33, just so you don't get your hopes up. The only way you would get into Club 33 as part of that tour is if you are a member of Club 33, and the tour guide was saying that even the tour guides aren't allowed to go in. So if they're doing a tour with a member of Club 33, the tour guides have to sit in the break room backstage whilst their guests go into Club 33. They're not allowed to escort them in even if they are doing a VIP tour. So yeah, you get to go into Walt's private apartment, which is surreal, I think is probably the best way to explain it, because it does kind of feel like a theme park attraction, but at the same time you know that all of those things he's touched and designed the room the way it's supposed to be. It's an apartment, it's got a living room, it's got a kitchen, it's got a bathroom. Apparently it also used to have a fireman's pole down into the fire station below until one guest actually climbed up the fire pole and into the apartment, so they closed up the hole. It's got original carpets, curtains, everything, and it's also got the lamp in the window. For those of you that aren't aware, Walt used to turn on all the lights when he was in the apartment, kind of like when the Queen flies her flag over Buckingham Palace to tell people she's home. Walt would have the lights on. So I'm getting emotional just talking about this now. So in the apartment there is a lamp on the window sill, window ledge. That is always on. Disneyland will always leave that light on for Walt, just so that everybody knows that no matter what, Walt is always there in the park. And that was a really, really nice touch. And one guy actually asked a question, you know, how often do you change the light bulb and how do you know when it's gone out? Is there a sensor or something on it? And the girl said, nope. She said within seconds of it going out there will be somebody that will come running into guest relations screaming that the light's gone out, and somebody will have to go up with a light bulb to replace it. She said they will get many people. If the light goes out within a couple of minutes, there will be numerous people lined up ready to tell them that the light has gone out and the bulb needs to be replaced, which I thought was absolutely lovely. It's making me a bit... and yeah, as you come out of the apartment and sort of look back up at the fire station, it just has a completely whole different meaning. I don't even know, I mean this was like nearly 3 weeks ago. It was a true bucket list experience for me getting to go into that apartment, and well worth the money. Oh dear. So the tour costs $109, that's including tax. $109. It is about 3 hours of walking around the park, doing a couple of attractions, learning about all the history of the park, and then the last hour is split between your time in the apartment and your time for lunch. I was lucky I was in the first group, so we got to go into the apartment first and then have lunch afterwards. I know if I'd have had lunch first, I would have been, you know, I want to get into the park, I want to get into the apartment. Whereas the way we did it, it just sort of continued on from the tour, and then we got to have a nice relaxing lunch, and once we finished lunch we were done. So you don't have to stay and have lunch. There were people that didn't stay for the lunch, they came into the apartment and then they left. But hey, you've paid $109, you might as well get a free sandwich out of it. And you get a commemorative pin as well, which was absolutely lovely. It's a really beautiful pin. It's in like a book. It's on a postcard, and it's a little book, and it opens up, and inside it has got a quote from Walt Disney in it, which is a really nice memento. Obviously you get to keep your Walk in Walt's Footsteps name badge as well, which is really, really nice. So if, like me, you are a big Disney Parks geek, big Disney Parks history geek, I highly recommend the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour. It's a really informative tour, it's really interesting, and as you can probably tell, it is quite emotional as well. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. Just wear comfortable shoes. We had one toilet stop and one drink stop, where he was playing an audio clip, and we stopped in Northern Square and said, oh, there's a drinks cart over there if anyone wants to get a drink. Now would be the opportunity to do it, and because of the range on the earpieces you can actually stand in the line for your drink whilst you're still listening to what's going on with the tour. So if you need anything to eat or drink other than that, then take snacks and drinks with you, but obviously you don't want to be stopping and eating stuff as he's talking, because that would be a bit rude. But the tour guide was great. He put a lot of personal spin on it, and he told us all about himself, about how he'd come into the role, and was just a really, really nice guy and knew lots. He could answer lots of questions. There were a couple of questions he wasn't too sure about, but he said he would find out. They weren't my questions, so I don't know whether he did. I'm assuming he did. But he said he'd been doing it since Christmas, so he'd only been doing it for sort of 4 or 5 months, and he did brilliantly. It was a really, really interesting tour. So if you're thinking about booking it, I would highly recommend it. Definitely do it. If you have any questions, then obviously let me know below. If you've done the tour, let me know what you thought. But yeah, for now, thank you for watching.